may have heard a story told by the brothers Grimm about a gnarly, knobby gnome with twisted mind and limbs.
He had a most amazing skill, quite awesome to behold, of taking ordinary straw to spin it to gold.
And when the miller boasted that his daughter Gold could spin, the king demanded that she come fill a room for him.
The poor girl was despondent. This task she could not do, but suddenly the gnome appeared and said the skill he knew.
He wasn't generous enough to help her out for free, but demanded jewels and trinkets that filled his heart with glee.
And when the maiden in distress had nothing more to pay for his request for recompense, did leave her in dismay.
For he in evil greed did grin, and claimed her firstborn child. She had no choice but to accept his offer so reviled.
And yet, a chance he offered her to keep her little one, if she could guess his name before the setting of 3 suns.
Far and wide, the maiden searched for names of every kind, but the nasty, gnarly gnome's true name, alas, she could not find.
And then, by chance, a servant caught a snippet of a song and found the name that she had sought so far and wide and long.
She declared him Rumpelstiltskin, and that gnome she did confound. He was so mad, he stomped his feet and dropped into the ground.
And no one's seen that gnome ever since then. At least that's what I'm told. No one's seen a nasty, gnarly gnome spin straw into bright gold.
And yet, perhaps, the gnome's not gone. Another time, another place. Did Stiltskin come again?
And so our story here begins. A party rich and grand. Another king is hosting for the people of his land.
And another parent boasting another daughter here. And it's the 1920s. And this king's a racketeer.
Like they're getting ready to play the Charleston. That's the new dance everybody is talking about.
Marjorie and George, you two should get out there and dance.
Oh, Mom, you know I don't like dancing.
But this Charleston sounds kind of fun.
Horse feathers, I'm not getting up there and making a fool of myself.
Well, maybe I'll give it a try.
Me too. I love dancing. Oh, no.
Absolutely. Mr. King's mansion is so elegant, and the band is just the bee's knees.
I could dance all night.
The band is really nifty, and this joint is so swanky. Oh, I wish Mr. King would throw these swell parties for the town more than once a year. Don't you think, Geranium?
It is fun, and I think I'm finally getting some of those new dance steps down.
I think Mr. King was watching you in that last dance, Geranium. Maybe he's stuck on you.
He is so handsome.
And so stylish.
And so rich.
Don't razz me. He certainly wouldn't notice a poor town girl like me.
I guess he is a little stuck up and snobby.
And handsome.
And stylish.
And very rich.
Lovely party, Mrs. Miller, don't you think? Yes, Mrs. Jones, absolutely delightful. It's especially nice to see the young people enjoying the day. They're having so much fun.
So true, Mrs. White. Why, I saw your daughter dance with my daughter and the girls. Why, your Sally dances
my days as a debutante.
Yes, Miss Virginia, but it is too bad I couldn't afford to get Geranium in a dress to the party. Her beautiful hair would have stood out nicely with the new sky blue dress, don't you think?
Well, I guess so.
And it's a shame to put such pretty feet in those old shoes. But money's been tight ever since Mr. Neller died last year.
Well, I guess money has been a bit tight for all of us. Except for Mr. King, of course.
It's too bad we don't have the money to invest in the stock market like Mr. King and his friends.
They do seem to make a lot of money buying and selling those stocks.
Well, of course. You have to know which stocks to pick. I've heard investing in the stock market can be quite risky.
Why, I've heard that some poor souls have lost their whole life savings playing the market.
Oh, that wouldn't be a problem for us. My Jerry is so smart, she would know just which stocks to pick.
She would?
Of course. Why, if only we had a little bit of money to invest in the stock market, I bet we would be rich.
I didn't know Geranium knew much about stocks. How does she know stocks will do well?
Geranium can always pick the stocks that are going to go up. I don't know how she does it, but she just seems to know.
Well, Mrs. Nello, we've been looking for you.
Yes, Mr. King asked us to have a word with you.
Oh, then it must be important. You better go, darling.
Oh, well, yes, of course. Goodbye, everyone. A lovely party Mr. King's putting on. Even better than usual, I think. And don't you think the band is excellent?
Mrs. Neller, you just knows what we come to talk about. Your grace period on that loan is over, and you're getting kind of late on your first payment. When you borrows dough from Mr. King, you need to make your payments on time, you know.
Yes, of course. I only borrowed money from Mr. King to pay for my husband's doctor bills. And since he died, money's been a bit difficult. But I'm working on getting the money together for Mr. King. I'll have the money for that first payment really soon.
Mr. King is not a patient man, Mrs. Nello.
You need to get that money together real fast.
Yes, of course. Why, if only I had a little bit of money to invest in the stock market, I could get all the money from Mr. King. Just like that. I could pay off the whole debt.
Yes, we'd heard how you say in your daughter Geranium can pick the stocks. But like you said, that won't help you now.
Mr. King might find it interesting, though. He's always looking for new stock tips. Unfortunately for you, he also likes having his debts paid on time. Get the money together soon, and no one will get hurt.
Get hurt? You can tell Mr. King that I'll have the money for that first payment soon. Really soon. Oh, dear.
Money for the orphanage? Bless my soul. Here are a few coins for all you poor, sweet children. Yourself an orphanage, ma'am?
I think I have a few points here somewhere.
Better take the orphanage, ma'am?
Yes, of course. Here's a couple of clams.
Mr. King, sir, could you please help us keep the orphanage open?
What
Miss
do
Elise, sir?
What are you dirty ragamuffins doing here?
Try and raise money for the orphanage, sir.
Orphanage? What does that have to do with me?
Please, sir.
This is a party. Ow! Bruno, get these dirty children right.
Come on now, move along. Can we grab a few more of those things?
Ow! Get out of here.
You heard Mr. King, be that!
Mom, I'm home!
Roberta! Baby, you're home. It's so good to see you, darling. How was your day?
Oh, it was fine, Mom. Same as usual.
Dinner's almost ready. I made your favorite. Spaghetti with teeny tiny meatballs and strawberry jello. For dessert.
Did you make my jello in a kitty cat mold for me?
Of course I did, darling. I know just how you like your jello-wello.
Thanks, Mom. I'm starving. Work at the stock exchange was really busy today.
I'm sure it was, honey. You know, I don't think they appreciate just how smart you are. And I also don't think they appreciate just how hard you work.
Oh, Mom, but actually it isn't much work. Somehow I just understand the stock market. I always seem to know which stocks will make money and which stocks will drop. I guess it's just a knack that I have. In fact, I've sworn at not making it look too easy.
Well, I don't suppose you met any nice boys at work today.
No, Mom! But I do wish you'd leave me alone when it comes to boys.
I know, dear, and I am sorry. It's just that it really would be nice to have some grandchildren, you know?
Mom, I know. Maybe someday.
It'd be fun to have little ones running around again, getting into mischief just like you did when you were my ickle pookykins.
Mom! You promised that you wouldn't call me that anymore!
I'm sorry.
Well, let's sit down and we can have some cookies, and you can tell me all about your day.
Hors d'oeuvres, anyone?
Thank you.
Have you tried any of these cute swirly horse d'oeuvres?
I think the way to pronounce that hors d'oeuvre.
It must be Russian or something.
Wherever you call them, they are delicious.
Don't be so piggy, George. Save some for the rest of us.
Don't worry, there's lots more where these came from. I ducked in the kitchen, and they have trays and trays of food waiting to come out. Mr. King sure knows how to throw a party.
Caviar, anyone?
Sure.
I simply adore those sweet little crackers with the crunchy black seeds on top. So tasty and salty.
The waiter called that caviar.
Caviar? That's just fancy, expensive fish eggs.
We're eating fish eggs?
I can't believe Mr. King would serve fish eggs.
Marjorie, mind your manners. That is not polite.
I don't care what they are. They're delicious, and they're free.
Well, Mrs. Miller, hope you're enjoying my little party.
Oh, yes, Mr. King. Why, it's just swell. And I'm working on getting the money together, Mr. King. I'll have the money for that first payment really soon.
Actually, Mrs. Miller, I wanted to talk to you about that. You see, I think we might be able to arrange a little deal.
A deal? What kind of deal, Mr. King?
Well, Al and Miss Bruno were just telling me how your daughter, Geranium, is very good with predicting the stock market.
Jerry? Well, yes. She understands the stock market perfectly. See, she's such a bright girl. She can pick winners every time. I mean, she's just playing around, of course. Just trying to figure out what she would buy if she had the money. And I mean, we don't really have any money, so she's never really tried to invest in the stock market. And maybe, maybe she was just lucky. I mean, she's never actually...
Yes, I understand, Mrs. Hill. But here's the deal I wanted to offer you. You bring Geranium down to my office tomorrow, and we'll have her pick out a few stocks. I'll put some money down on those stocks, and if they go up, great. We'll split the profits. Half goes to me, and half goes to your payment. Of course, if they were to go down, it would be very bad.
Very bad, Mr. King?
Yes, Mrs. Neller. I'm afraid we'd have to add those losses to your debt.
Add to my debt, Mr. King?
Of course. But since Geranium is so good at predicting the stock market, there's really no chance of that. Now, is there?
Well, actually, Mr. King,
Of course, if you'd rather not take my little deal, that's totally fine. You can just have the money for this week's payment and last week's payment over here by tomorrow night.
Tomorrow night?
Say by 5 p.m.
Well, I didn't say we weren't interested in your deal, Mr. King. It's just that I have to talk to Jerry first, that's all. I mean, I'm sure she'll agree and all, but I just need to tell her about it.
Of course, Mrs. Noah. You talk to Geranium. And have her at my office tomorrow morning at 9 a.m.
Yes, Mr. King. Certainly, Mr. King. 9 a.m. tomorrow morning.
And enjoy the rest of the party.
Definitely. Oh, dear.
But Mother, you know I can't predict stocks. One time I just made a comment about wishing I could buy a few shares of SodaFizz Incorporated, and it just happened to go up the next day. It was just a lucky guess. I don't know anything about stocks.
Now, dear, you are a very intelligent child. How hard could it be?
But Mother...
Now, Jerry, no buts. We really don't have a choice now, do we?
But I don't even know what to do.
No, Piffle. I'm sure that everything will be just fine. Or at least I hope so.
Well, hello, Geranium. So glad you can make it today.
Hello, Mr. King.
Now, there's no need to be nervous. I'm sure your mother told you what I want you to do.
Yes, she did, but I'm not sure.
Here's your desk, and here's the list of stocks that are currently trading. All you need to do is pick out a few stocks that are going to go up in the next few days, and everyone will be happy. I'll leave you alone here for a little while so you can work in peace and quiet.
Yes, Mr. King.
What is all this sobbing? I'm trying to work, and I certainly can't do it with all this racket going on.
But I can't help it. I'm supposed to pick out stocks that are going to go up, and I don't know how. And if I pick the wrong ones, my mother and I will be ruined.
Picking stocks, but that's so easy.
You know which stocks will go up?
Of course I do. I have it all figured out.
You do? Could you tell me a few?
Well, I could, but what will you give me in exchange?
Give you, but I don't have anything to give you.
Well, then just stop sobbing. Let me get back to work.
Wait, I do have this watch that my father gave me, but I couldn't possibly give it up.
Let me see it. Gold, good quality.
I guess I could trade a few stock tips for the watch, but it's one of the few things that my father left me.
Well, suit yourself.
No, don't leave. I mean, I guess I can give you the watch if you're sure you know which stocks will go up.
No problem there. And let me see the list of stocks that are trading today.
So, Mr. King says that the stocks Geranium picked this week have done very well. This week, they have gone up in value enough to cover your payments for the last 2 weeks.
They have? But that's terrific news. See, Geranium, I told you this would all work out.
Mr. King is very happy. It's always good to make Mr. King happy.
I guess so. I'm just relieved that it's all over.
Over? I don't think so.
Mr. King says that he will see you in his office tomorrow morning at 9 a.m., just like last week.
But he already made a lot of money. This wasn't part of the deal.
Oh, so you just have enough money sitting around for next week's payment, too. Well, then get your wiggle on and get it over to Mr. King.
No, of course not. Geranium, surely it wouldn't hurt to go in a few more times and pick out a few more payments. Just think, we could completely be out of debt soon.
But Mother,
And this way, no one gets hooked.
I hope not.
Well, good morning, Jer. It's great to see you here again.
As if I had any choice.
Now, it's not that bad, is it? And it's not like it's hard work for you. And you certainly did an excellent job last time. I would never have guessed that Zingo Marble Incorporated would double in value in just a week, and Kitchen Clutter Company had been dropping in value for months. How could you possibly know it would turn around?
Just some lucky guesses?
What a gal. Lucky and pretty. I should keep you around all the time. Well, hopefully you'll have just as much luck this time. Again, here's the list of stocks. Just mark up the ones that we need to buy. I'll leave you now so you can get right to work.
Thanks.
Now, just don't worry your pretty little head. I'm sure you will do fine.
It's you crying again! Can't you learn to cry a little more quietly? Have some consideration for people who are trying to get some work done.
Sorry, Miss Stillskin. It's just that Mr. King says that I have to pick out more stocks for him. And the ones that you chose last week did so well that he thinks I can pick them easily. I have no idea which of these to pick. It's pretty much eeny, meeny, miny, mo. How about Darling Donuts Incorporated?
Oh, definitely not. The one will lose his value by the time the market closes tonight.
Well, do you know which ones I should pick?
Of course I do, but what will you pay me this time?
No.
What do you mean, oh no?
It's just that the only thing I have left of any value is this locket that my father gave me. It's the only thing I have left to remind me of my father.
Well, let's see it.
Solid gold, but pretty small. You don't have anything else?
No. Well, I guess this will have to do.
I guess it will.
No, don't get all blubbery. Here, I marked the stocks that I need to pick today. That one might work.
Good job. You made the boss real happy again.
Yes, the stocks Geranium chose this week have done extremely well. In fact, a little bit better than the last ones. Mr. King is quite impressed.
Oh, goody! That means we've made enough money to cover a couple more payments.
And I'm afraid I know what's coming next.
Well, of course. Mr. King would like to extend the cordial invitation to you to return to his office at tomorrow morning at 9 a.m.
Well, I'm sure that would not be a problem, now would it, dear? Just think, that's 4 or 5 payments made. I never thought I would see the day.
But I'm not feeling very lucky right now. Perhaps it would be better to wait a couple weeks, and maybe then we could try again?
Oh, that would not make Mr. King happy. Remember what I said about wanting to keep the boss happy?
Yes, I remember. Something about no one wanting to get hurt.
You got it. Then we will see Geranium bright and early tomorrow morning.
Geranium, so good to see you again.
Hello, Mr. King.
That's a swell getup you have on. Positively beautiful. I love that color on you. Sit down, sit down. You see, I got a new cushion for your chair this time to be sure that you'll be comfortable. And some coffee in Danish. So glad you could make it today.
Yeah, sure. Like you gave me any choice.
Well, it's for your own good, you know. And you've already earned enough money to make 5 payments on your family's debt. Another week like that, and you'll really be sitting pretty. You know, your performance last week was excellent. Even better than before. Your mother is right. You are a very intelligent girl. And so pretty, too.
Well, I don't think I'll be able to do that well again.
I know, it's just luck. That's what you said last time. Well, I wish I had your good luck.
Wouldn't exactly call it good luck.
Anyway, here's a list of stocks. You know the routine. Just mark off the stocks that will go up in value this week, and that will cover a few more payments for your mother.
Yes, I understand.
Take your time now. I'll be back in a little while. And maybe I could buy you some lunch after.
Don't you have anything better to do than to come in here and interrupt me with your crying? You need to get a hobby or something.
But Miss Stillskin, I'm really in trouble this time. Mr. King says that I have to pick even more stocks for him, which of course I still don't know how to do. And this time I have nothing left to pay you with. I gave you my father's watch and the locket that he gave me, and that's all I had.
Don't you have any other jewelry? No pearl necklaces or diamond earrings or anything?
No, if I had expensive jewelry, I wouldn't be in this mess.
I guess that's true.
I could cook you dinner or bake you a cake.
No, my mother does that for me.
Fix your car. I can patch your radiator, change your oil, or even fix your brakes.
That's great, but I don't have a car. Oh, well, I certainly can't give out stock tips for free. I've got it! I'll give you a few good stock tips, and you give me a firstborn child!
What?
Are you going deaf now? I said I will tell you which stocks are going to go up this week
And you give me your firstborn child.
But I don't have a child. I'm not even married. And besides, I couldn't give away a child.
I know you don't have a child. I mean, when you do get married, I do have a child.
But you don't even know if I ever will.
I guess I'll be taking a chance then, won't I? Is it a deal?
I can't make a deal like that.
Okay then. Why didn't you just tell them that you don't want to pick stocks?
I tried, but then Al and Miss Bruno said something about playing along and nobody getting hurt.
Well, then it might be smart to play along.
What choice do I have?
Well, Drinium, you did it again. The stocks you chose went up faster than any other stocks in the market. Simply amazing. And you have made enough money to cover 2 months worth of loan payments. But there's something I wanted to ask you.
Mr. King, before you even ask, I'm afraid that I'm not going to be able to pick any more stocks for you. My source is dried up, and my mother and I will just have to find another way to make our loan payments in the future.
Ha! So you did have a source. Actually, that wasn't what I was going to ask you. I was going to ask you to marry me.
Marry you? But why would you want to marry me?
Well, I figure it's about time I settled down and got a cute dame to keep the house for me. And you seem to be smart, pretty, and sensible. And who knows, you might get a few more good stock tips.
I don't know what to say.
Of course not. I'm sure you're too astonished and overwhelmed with gratitude to even think straight. Oh, and of course, when we get married, your mother's debt will be forgiven. No more payments.
The whole loan?
The whole kit, kat, and caboodle. Well, I'll give you a few days to get used to it all, Jer. Then we can set a date and start planning our wedding.
Did you hear about Geranium's engagement?
I can't believe it.
I'm so excited. I hope the wedding is going to be enchanting
It's going to be so beautiful.
and so romantic. I hope we're the bridesmaids. Oh, I want to be the maid of honor.
No, that'll definitely be me. If we are, what do you think the bridesmaids' dresses are going to look like?
I hope they're going to be pink with
Oh,
red
pink.
accents. Oh, yeah.
Geranium, sit down, sit down, sit down. So many questions.
So, he really asked you to marry him? That's so romantic.
Actually, it wasn't very romantic. In fact, he was kind of arrogant and snobby.
But he is so handsome.
And so stylish.
And so rich. So, Spill, you went there for dinner last night, didn't you?
Yes, he invited me for dinner, and when Mr. King invites you somewhere, you go.
And what was it like?
Well, dinner was delicious, of course.
Oh, what did you have for dinner?
Was it something fancy?
But more importantly, how did he behave?
Was he mean and obnoxious?
Well, no.
Then did he ignore you?
Or threaten you?
Of course not.
Then was he gentlemanly and debonair?
He's always gentlemanly and debonair when he wants to be.
Did he know which fork to use and to eat nicely without slurping his soup?
And did he treat you well, like a suitor trying to win his girl?
Did he open doors for you and pull out your chair and make sure you had the choicest piece of meat?
And was he suave and elegant?
Well, I guess so.
And did he dote on you and
Flirt with you and tell you how swell you look?
I suppose.
Then what is your problem?
Yeah!
It sounds like you are sitting pretty. What is he doing wrong? What more could you want?
Well, if he were a little bit nicer to people, I would feel better about marrying him. I mean, he's nice enough to me right now, but I'm not sure if he really likes me or if he's just acting to get what he wants.
Well, I guess I see what you mean. Well, sometimes it always seems like he's only thinking and just wants more.
I guess it would be better if you were a little nicer and more considerate and a lot more generous.
I do see your point. I remember at the party, he wouldn't even help those poor orphans who wanted money to help keep their orphanage open.
Yes, I remember. He even had his sidekick send the poor kids away.
And I heard that the orphanage wasn't able to raise enough money, and now they're going to have to close.
What's going to happen to all those poor orphans?
I guess they'll be out on the street.
Yes, I heard they'll be evicting them today.
Really? That's terrible.
It certainly is.
Wait a minute. I have an idea. Maybe I can try to get Mr. King to help the orphans and see what he's really like at the same time.
Now, how will you do that?
Let's get to the orphanage right away. I'll explain on the way there. Come right on in, children. There's plenty of room here for all of you to stay.
Wow, this place is big.
And swanky.
Jerry, are you sure this is a good idea?
I don't think that Mr. King will be very happy when he finds all these kids here.
Something fun is that cute?
Can we sit on the couch?
Me too. Feel how soft the curtains are. Wow.
This is nice and bouncy.
Let me try.
Look, there's room to dance.
I'll dance with you. Me too. Let's play tag. I'll be it.
No, tag is definitely not a good idea. You two, come over here.
What is going on here? What are all these children doing here?
It's all right, Miss Bruno. I told the children they could stay here since the orphanage had to close.
What you mean it's all right? Does Mr. King knows all these kids is coming to this place? He ain't really overly fond of children, you know.
Hey, pipe down, all of you. Get down from there. Be careful, you'll break that.
All right, children, gather around and find a place to sit on the floor here. Al, could you please go and ask the cook to bring a snack for the children? I think that they're pretty hungry. They didn't have breakfast this morning, and I'm not sure they had dinner last night either.
Well, maybe getting some food into them will quiet them down a bit.
Are you sure this is a good idea?
Yeah, I'm afraid Mr. King is going to give us an earful when he finds out about this.
Uh-oh, I think I hear him coming now.
Well, I don't want to be around when he sees all this.
What is going on here? Who let all these ragamuffins in? Why, Jer, what are you doing here?
Hello, Mr. King. I found out today that the orphanage was closing, and all of these poor, motherless children were going to be thrown out on the street with nowhere to go. Naturally, I couldn't let that happen.
You couldn't?
So I brought them here, because I know that you have plenty of room and plenty of food.
I do?
And I knew that you'd want to do something to help these poor orphans.
I would?
Of course.
But wait just a minute. I want to make myself totally clear. I want these children out of here now.
But, Mr. King...
I don't want a bunch of dirty, smelly orphans flooded at my place.
Mr. King isn't very nice.
What's more?
Why, Mr. King, now you've got to make them all cry.
What? Can't cry here. Stop crying. Right now. Stop crying. Please make them stop crying. I won't kick them out, and we'll see about getting the orphanage fixed up for them.
Yay!
Hooray!
Look! Food!
There's plenty of food for all of us.
Yay!
I am.
Oh, that was such a beautiful ceremony. I'm still all teared up.
Geranium is such a beautiful bride.
Yes, I think she must be the most beautiful bride in the whole... I think that the girls make such beautiful bridesmaids. I'm so glad Jerry has such great friends.
The whole wedding party looked quite dapper.
And the orphans were so cute, especially when the littlest one tripped on his way up to the aisle, and they all covered their eyes and squealed when the groom kissed the bride.
Yes, and it was so nice of Mr. King to make that big donation to the orphanage to keep it open.
He is such a generous man, such an asset to the town.
Oh, I think it's almost time for the orphans to do their little dance for the bride and groom.
On behalf of Mr. King and his bride, we would like to welcome everyone, family, friends, and neighbors.
We hope you will help us to celebrate this happy occasion.
And now, it's time to introduce the bride.
So maybe present the happy pair.
Mr. and Mrs. King.
And now we have a special treat.
As a gift to the bride and the groom.
The children are going to do a special dance.
And then we ask all the townspeople to join in the festivities.
And boogie down to celebrate the special day.
wedding day is now over, and they are man and wife. And so, they just continue with their happy ever life.
And time goes by, as time will do, and many things take place. The good, the bad, the sweet, the sad, we cannot all retrace.
Yet one of that important. We need to stop here to visit the couple after just a year.
A child is born, a little boy, John Anthony so sweet, and everyone congratulates the family now complete.
Congratulations, Jerry. John Anthony is such a beautiful little thing. Mr. King, you must be so proud.
Oh yes, I think he's the most beautiful baby in the world. He looks just like his mother.
Aw, but I think he's got his daddy's eyes. Coochie coochie coo.
And his daddy's appetite. Mr. and Mrs. King's little prince.
And he has definitely enthralled his whole kingdom.
Or at least the whole household.
And I love being a grandmother, just such a sweet little boy.
Well, little John Anthony is getting pretty sleepy, so I'm afraid I'm gonna have to ask all of you to go out for a little while so he can take a little nap.
Well, of course. The little prince needs his beauty sleep.
There you are, John Anthony. Sleep well. Well, I guess it's time to pay up on your debt now.
Who are you? What are you doing here?
Surely you remember me. Roberta Stillskin. I helped save your skin a few times a year or so ago, remember? Helping you with the stock tips.
Of course I remember, but you startled me. What are you doing here?
I came to collect what you owe me.
What I owe you?
Yes, you remember. You promised me your firstborn child, so I've just come to collect.
But you can't take my baby.
But that's what you promised me in exchange for the stock tips.
I already gave you my father's watch and the locket that he gave me. That's payment enough for the stock tips you gave me.
No, a deal's a deal.
But you can't have him. He's my little darling, my John Anthony.
Oh, no, don't start the blubbering again.
But how can I? You're trying to take my baby.
Oh, I can't stand that noise.
But I can't help it.
I'll tell you what. I'll give you a chance to keep the child.
Yes, please, let me keep my baby.
Here's the deal. I'll give you 3 days to guess the nickname that my mother called me when I was a child. If you can guess it in 3 days, you can keep the kid. If not, we go back to the original deal and I take the baby.
Guess your nickname? Well, that shouldn't be too hard. 3 days.
Yes, 3 days. I'll come back each day right at nap time and you can make your guesses. But you have to be here alone. And I'll warn you, you're never going to guess it.
Yes, I will. I'll guess every nickname that ever existed.
Well, goodbye for now.
Mr. King, Mom, Al, Bruno, Myrtle, everyone, you need to help me find some nicknames.
Don't worry, Mrs. King. We'll find out what that girl's nickname was.
Yes, Jer, I'm sure we can find it.
What if we start making a list of all the nicknames we can think of?
That's a good idea. I've got some paper and pencil here.
We can list all of our names and then go out into the neighborhood and collect nicknames from other people.
By John Anthony's nap time tomorrow, we'll have a whole book of nicknames.
Let's get started. I'll write them down.
There's sport and math, kiddo,
And skunk, and stinky, and tiny.
What were the kids in my neighborhood called? Oh, there was Hammer, Bruiser, Rock, Slam, the Beast. Oh, then there was Killer and his brother, the Reaper.
Yeah, and do you remember Weasel and Monster Man and his cousin Bandit?
Oh, yeah, those were the days.
We might want to come up with a few other nicknames, just in case you didn't grow up in the same neighborhood as you do.
what about Sweetie and Smiley and Cuddle Bunny?
Oh, and you can't forget Pretty Girl, Gorgeous, Angel Face.
it Hunky?
No.
How about Winky or Squirt?
No and no.
Well, could it be Ozzy, Squishy, or Snaggletooth?
None of those either.
Well, the last name on my list is Goobers.
No, that's not it. I told you you wouldn't be able to guess it.
But I have to guess your nickname. I can't let you take my John Anthony.
A deal's a deal. Well, I'll see you tomorrow. And don't start that blubbering again.
How did it go? Did we guess your nickname?
No, and we only have 2 more days. My poor John Anthony.
Oh, this is all my fault. If only I hadn't bragged about Jerry picking nicknames, this never would have happened.
Now, don't you worry about John. I'm sure we can find this girl's nickname if we have to go to the ends of the earth to find it.
So I guess we better get busy.
We're just gonna need to get more names. A lot more names.
I can go ask the orphans what their names are.
Yeah, I'll go with you.
Oh, I can ask that band that played at the big party you had, Mr. King.
And I'll go ask my mother and her friends.
My nickname is Ziggy.
My nickname is Izzy.
They call me Cheeseball.
I'm Bugs.
My nickname is Sunshine, and my little brother's name is Pigpen.
My nickname is Bright Eyes.
My name is Snugglebug.
My name's Bugle, and I have a brother called Tempo.
And I'm known as Jasmine, and I have some friends called Jelly Roll and Toots.
And I'm Boogaloo Jane, and the sax is in my game.
I'm a Sue family whose children went by the names Sugar, Sissy, and Sassy.
When I was a little girl, they called me Bootsy, and I knew a Dizzy and a Pee-wee.
I once knew a boy they called Honey Bear.
I have a brother who we call Schmoopy. I don't remember how he got that nickname.
My twin cousins are known as Tweedledum and Tweedledee.
Well, in the South, we had nicknames like Sunny, Dimples, Baba, oh, and Squirrel.
Well, they used to call me short stuff until I grew a few inches.
Gee, and I thought Smiley was bad.
Oh, my name is Bobby.
Many years ago, I was known as Rusty.
Everybody called me Sparky because of my quick temper.
Okay, we still need a few more names to add to our list. Why don't we ask all the people in the audience?
Now you're on the trolley. That's a real good idea. Let's go ask these good people if they got any other good nicknames to add to our list for Mrs. King.
I'm sure one of these will be the name we're looking for. We'll give all these nicknames to Jerry. One of them sure to be Miss Stiltskin's nickname.
Okay, could it be Bubba? No. How about Charlie? Or Lizard? No. How about Captain Fantastic? No! Bebop? No. I still have more. How about Doodle? No. Did they call you Savage or Tito's? No way! What about Dina? No. Happy? No. Did they call you Nene? No. Sparky? Nope. How about Snazzy? No. And Muncie? No way. And finally, Squirts? No. I'm afraid that's all the nicknames I have for today.
This isn't quite as easy as you thought, now is it? But don't worry, John Anthony will have a good home.
Not so fast. John already has a good home. I'm sure I can guess your nickname.
Well, maybe it will, but probably you won't. Goodbye until tomorrow.
No luck, Geranium? No, and we only have one more day before she takes away my John Anthony.
My poor Jerry. My poor grandbaby.
Okay, it's not so bad. We already have a long list of nicknames that aren't correct, so we've eliminated all those. Now we just need to find the one that's right.
I think we should split up and go all through the town and into the country looking for unusual nicknames.
Okay, let's get to it.
Wait, I have an idea. We know that Miss Stiltskin works at an office down the hall from you, Mr. King. I'm gonna try and follow her home from work. Maybe I can find something out from her family or neighbors.
She did say something once about her mother. Maybe she could help us.
Maybe I should go. I could make the creep talk.
I don't think that's such a good idea, Al. We may be better off trying to sweet talk the mother rather than intimidating Miss Stiltskin.
Okay, and the rest of us will split up and see what other names we can gather.
And we meet back here tomorrow morning to give our lists of names to Jerry.
if she's there.
That's true. Maybe we should come back tomorrow after she leaves for work.
I hate to wait that long, though.
Mind running out to get some cookies? To get some milk? I'll be back in 20 minutes.
Oh, that would be great, dear. And when you get back, I'll have dinner all ready. Oh, and I'll have a big bottle of ketchup for you to use on your green beans. Maybe we should do it on the patio since it's such a nice evening.
That sounds great, Mom. See you soon.
Bye.
We'll have the chance to talk to her without Roberta around.
What luck. But do you think all 4 of us going up might be a little bit intimidating?
You might be right. Maybe I should go up by myself, and we'll see if I can find out anything.
Okay, we'll wait here.
Good luck.
We'll be right here if you need anything.
Hello? Hello? Anyone home?
Well, hello there, child.
Hello?
Welcome. Welcome. Welcome.
You must be Mrs. Stiltskin.
Why, yes, I am, but everybody just calls me Mama Stiltskin. You must be one of Roberta's friends. Here, sit, please.
My name is Myrtle.
Welcome, welcome. We're going to be eating dinner in just a bit, and you can join us if you'd like.
Oh, I'm afraid I can only stay for a few minutes. Is Roberta here?
Oh, no. She just ran out to the store to grab some milk. I'm so sorry you just missed her. But you should at least have some lemonade and a cookie before you leave.
Oh, thank you. That sounds delicious.
They're Roberta's favorite, you know. She likes them if I make them in cute little shapes like animals or cartoon characters.
That does sound like fun.
You know, Roberta doesn't talk to me much about her friends, but she's such a sweet girl, and she's so smart. You know, that's why she does so well at her job at the stock market.
Yeah, she certainly knows the stock market. Has Roberta always been so smart?
Why, yes. Even when she was just a little girl, she was a whiz at math. She used to calculate the number of mosquitoes in a square mile of the swamp, or how many jelly beans it would take to fill up the entire house.
Really?
Which is a lot. Yes.
How interesting.
Yes, and she always had little science experiments going. Why, I remember I used to find all sorts of gross things in my kitchen glasses and bowls. Delicious. And I do remember that one little explosion in her room that one time. Oh, but don't worry. The carpenters were able to rebuild that part of the house.
Oh my. Well, Roberta must have been a very good-looking little girl.
Oh, why, yes. Although I may be a little bit biased. Here, let me show you a photo. Oh, I seem to have left my purse in the house. Give me a second. I will get it. Here we go. Here, I'll just show you a photo or two. Oh, this is a nice one. And then there's, oh, look at this one. It's adorable. Oh, and of course there's this one. And there's another. Oh, my lemonade. I'll clean that later. Why don't I just show you them all?
Oh, wow. Aw, such a cutie.
Oh, yes. I remember when she was just a little tot, I used to call her my Ickle-Pookykins.
Ickle-Pookykins? That's such a sweet nickname.
Why, yes, it is. Oh, but don't tell her I told you that. She seems to think people will laugh at her if they heard such a nickname. Oh, I can take that back.
Oh, I won't say a word to her. Well, I'm afraid I need to be going. Thank you so much for the lemonade and the cookie.
Of course, dear, and come again anytime.
And, don't mention to Roberta that I was here. I'd like to surprise her sometime when she is home.
Oh, that really would be nice. Well, toodaloo.
Goodbye.
Well, did they call you Mr. Boom Boom? No! You know, this is kind of fun. I never knew there were so many silly nicknames. Why, you're never going to guess what Mother used to call me. Well, I have a few more nicknames to try. Okay, let's hear it. I'm ready for a good laugh. Did they call you Nickel Knocker or Willy Foo Foo? No, those are the best ones yet. Well, did they call you Ickle Pookykins? What? But who told you? Someone must have told you. You cheated. That doesn't count. That isn't fair.
Now, Miss Stillskin, I believe that you were the one who said that a deal is a deal.
Yes, I did, but it's just that, you weren't supposed to get it right.
Well, that's just how it works out, Miss Stillskin. I'm sure you didn't really want a baby anyways. Why would you want my John Anthony?
I didn't want him. It was for my mother. She's always telling me how she wants to be a grandmother and have a child around again. I knew she'd be so happy if I brought her home a baby. Plus, that would keep her busy so she would stop pestering me about boys and getting married and all that gross stuff.
Well, it's nice of you to want to help your mother, but how could you have even thought about taking my baby away from me?
I figured you could just have another. I don't get why everyone makes such a big deal about babies.
Just have another?
Well, anyway, I'll be going now, because we'll be bothering you again. It's just not fair. What made Mom so happy? She's not there again. Hey, wait a minute. I have an idea. What was that?
A happy ending for the kings, for husband, wife, and child, and for their family and their friends, whom John Anthony beguiled.
But what of Roberta Stiltskin and her sweet but clingy mom, who tried to take a child away without regret or qualm?
Let's wait a year and look again to see if aught has changed. What do we find? What's going on? A party all arranged.
For John is turning 1 year old, more charming as he's grown, and all the town will come and see the prince upon his throne.
Oh, such a happy day. I can't believe my grandson John Anthony is a year old already.
That sweet child is going to be any cuter.
Is everything ready for the party?
I think so. The cake is beautiful.
And that amazing band is getting set up to play.
Oh, not that Charleston.
There should be plenty of food, Marjorie, if you'd like some. After all, I'm sure George probably looked in the kitchen again.
Oh, yeah. There's tons of good stuff.
You do stay out of the kitchen and stay out of trouble.
Oh, Mom, I wasn't causing any trouble. Just helping the cook by sampling all the snacks, making sure they're okay.
I'm sure you were a big help. The rest of the guests should be arriving any minute now. Why don't you go and help with presents and coats?
Okay.
Well, here's the little prince.
The guest of honor is all dressed up and ready for the party.
Happy birthday! Sounds like someone else arrived. Well, how is the birthday boy today?
Just wait till you see what me and Miss Bruno got you for your birthday, John.
We're here! Now the party can begin. Hello. How's our darling birthday boy today?
Happy birthday, Johnny.
Oh, John, your outfit is
Well, we're glad you're all able to make it to help celebrate with us.
Especially since if it weren't for all of you, little John Anthony might not be here with us to be celebrating.
Oh, that must be the orphans.
Only they're not orphans anymore, remember?
Oh, I keep forgetting.
It's so nice they get to be part of one family now.
Why, hello, Mama Stilskin. I'm so glad you're able to come and bring all the kids.
Well, thank you ever so much for inviting us. You know, we were actually almost late because little Robbie fell in a puddle right after I got him all dressed. And then Annie couldn't find the present she wanted to bring for John Anthony, of course. And then Maddie
Well,
lost
we're
her...
glad you're all able to get here.
Well, we wouldn't want to miss it. Oh, and here's some cookies I brought for everyone to enjoy. And of course, all of my Uncle Cookie kids here to help celebrate John and his birthday.
And where's your daughter Roberta today?
Oh, you know Roberta. She's not such a fan of parties and children and social gatherings in general. So she's at home enjoying some chocolate chip cookies and kitty cat jello that I left.
Well, strike up the band.
Not that Charleston again.
Oh, come on, you should give it a try.
Yeah, Marjorie, it's a lot of fun.
All right.
So now, our tale is finished, a happy end for all. Our play completely done, except the final curtain call.
Hope you enjoyed our story, different from the Brothers Grimm, when Miss Stilskin played the market but had no straw to spin.
Thank you all for coming. Hope you enjoyed our play. We all had a ball performing for all you today.
Please join us for refreshments. We welcome everyone.
Just out the back, we'll all be there to talk and have some fun.
Come have some cake, cookies, or other nice desserts. And as we said, just play along and no one will get hurt.
thank you to our director, Mrs. Gruber, for making this experience wonderful for everyone.
And we'd like to thank our stage manager, Michelle, for everything. We'd also like to thank Elizabeth and Sarah for helping corral us children, and so that we were quiet backstage.
We'd also like to thank Miss Sherry and Jessica for helping backstage and with costumes.
We'd like to thank you, Lance and Smith and Samuel, for running the lights and sound so we weren't dancing and nothing. Come here.
And finally, we'd like to thank Zoe and Josh for doing the curtains and everything, and for getting the work out, because we all know that they were working those curtains all day long.
And finally, we'd like to thank all the friends and parents who came. We couldn't have done it without you guys. Thanks for coming.
And I would like to add that because, okay, so for the first time, we got an opportunity to make shirts for our entire cast because my grandfather has a t-shirt printer and I put in the work, me and him put in the work to make t-shirts for the entire cast. But unfortunately, Mrs. Gruber didn't end up getting one, so I decided that we should make one for her.
And my mother, the stage manager, had to give up her shirt to my brother, so we made her a bag as well.
Oh, of course, her bag.
Hope you enjoyed the show, and we'll see you at
That was my idea.
Thank you, everyone, for coming.